It's the 2K Sports pregame show, brought to you by
Out of my mind, in hopes that I can see them. I pray that I can reach them. God only knows if I make it out alive. I took the high road, I walk alone, but I'm
It's an Eastern Conference battle at the American Airlines Arena here in Miami, Florida, as the Heat look to work the home court advantage. Well, before you look ahead to your busy week, sit down, relax, pull up a chair as we bring you another NBA broadcast. And thanks for sharing part of your weekend with us. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry. From the sideline, we'll have David Aldridge. We'll be hearing from him in just a moment. And, of course, Patrick Beverley. A lot of what he's been doing in his first several games with this new team, just feeling things out, using that basketball instinct and learning the playbook.
Man, that trade is something that has just electrified this entire fan base, the players, the people working for the organization. They think it may be that piece of the puzzle necessary to finally get this team over the hump.
All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. On the court right now for the Celtics. Mickey out there with Whiteside. Then it's Jay Crowder. Then there's Smart. And it's Green in at the shooting guard position. And with this much of the season in the books, you get the sense teams, Brent, are starting to view areas they need to address.
Yeah, this is always interesting, Kevin. If it's before the trade deadline, you may start looking around the league for players that might come in and get you poised for a playoff run by making a shift in your personnel.
Well, Miami certainly loves their heroes, and if you made a Mount Rushmore of Miami Heat players, Dwayne Wade is certainly the biggest face on that monument.
And it would really be remiss if you didn't consider what it is that LeBron James did in his short time down here in South Beach. But I tell you what, Kevin, certainly Dwayne Wade would be up there, Kevin, and then you have to think of Alonzo Mourning and all the things that he brought in terms of his success and heartbeat for this franchise. But you might want to reserve some space up there in that rocky crag, Kevin, for their general manager.
Now here's Whiteside. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Mickey. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. The Celtics shooting their first free throws of the game.
Not really where you'd like to be as a team in terms of free throw shooting, just about 73%.
And that one misses. And the Celtics, a stifling defensive ball club under head coach Brad Stevens.
I mean, tremendous perimeter defenders. One of the top-rated teams in the league in terms of steals. And even without being a dominant defensive rebounding and shot-blocking team, they were so good on the wings that it didn't matter.
So neither attempt will fall that time point. And good that time.
A little breakdown there, letting them get that rebound. You can't allow that to happen.
Outside Dragic, the 11-footer. Not enough on that one as it misses. The Celtics on offense, defeated by the Hornets in their last game. They'll try to put that one behind them.
And nothing went well offensively on this night for them. They were just completely disjointed.
Yeah, about as inept an offensive performance as they're capable of giving, just stale at that end of the floor when it came to their ideas and their execution.
Celtics passing it around. Green kicks to Mickey. The tray. It's good for his second make. He's made 2 of 3 so far.
Now, I know he isn't the world's greatest three-point marksman, but the defense has to show some respect.
No good from Dragic.
Well, the defense ready for him there in prevent mode, making sure that he didn't get a clean look at that layup.
The Heat have gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. It doesn't go for him. Now the Celtics take it the other way.
I'm not sure if it's a bad start or unlucky here. 0 for 4. Can't think too much about it. Just got to get that first one to go.
He can be a forgotten man in their offense sometimes, but the D still has to keep an eye on him.
Now here's Bosch. Boy, was he something else against the Clippers. to halt the run. Again, the miss by the Heat.
Yeah, slow start right now. 5 straight misses to get this one going.
Inside from close range, and that one hits back iron. Not a fast start here for the Heat. Trailing here by 8. There's a victory here for the home team last time these guys met.
And we've seen them play better games than that one, but still, they were able to get the win.
Yeah, in the end, actually a pretty comfortable win for them. That was a gritty effort on a night when they were not playing their best basketball.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with Brad Stevens. He said they know the challenge going up against this team that can score so many points in a hurry. He said we cannot try to match these guys basket for basket and get away from our defense. Because if you slack off these shooters even a little bit, then they really go off. We'll see if they can find that balance tonight and even this season series. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you as always. And of course, facing an offense like this, you really have to be aware at all times of the weapons they throw at you.
Yeah, and they can light it up when they get it going. It's going to take a top-notch effort defensively to keep them in check.
Yeah, I believe that they're just ready for this challenge. They've been amped up. They've had some time to get ready for this one. The day is here. Let's see if they can get it done.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. David Lee's checked in for Johnson. Johnson comes in for Trevor Ariza. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Bradley. Here's Rozier. His last outing, he had 8 points. And here's Olynyk from the arc. Zeller. And good work on the boards. They pick up the second chance points.
He snakes around that offensive glass. Played that carom just right.
Outside Dragic. Johnson against Crowder. Now here's Beverly. He's guarded closely. Lets it go from the wing. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over.
A moment here to look at some numbers for Patrick Beverley. Averaging 9 points per game, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. And he's really been pulling his weight. He's had a hand in some big plays here recently.
Zeller, a screen on Beverly. Crowder against Johnson. It's Crowder on the wing. He's coming off a 31-point game against Charlotte. Count the basket. One thing that Coach Spoelstra doesn't get enough credit for is his attention on the defensive end, Brent. Rarely do you see a team he is in charge of struggle on that side of the ball.
I think Spo has so many different ways that he can deploy his defense and gets very creative with the way he uses his active big guys out on screen and rolls. A great defensive mind in the game.
Now, here is Young. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Crowder kicks to Zeller. Screen by Olynyk. Launches a 3, and they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. While we have a moment here, let's reveal the teams that have been holding opponents to the fewest points this month. Number 1, the Heat.
They've been playing great lockdown defense over the past month. They close out on shooters extremely well and do not allow easy looks.
Here's Beverly. Here's Bosch, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Bosch has got his first 2 points of the night.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
35 seconds left here in the first quarter. A nice shot by Zeller.
Yeah, and there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside position. And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Mills, he's checked in for Goran Dragic. And a change for the Celtics. Jerebko's checked in for Jay Crowder. We've got 28 seconds left here in the first quarter. Shots good by Bosch. Bosch has got his second bucket.
As soon as Bosch gets the ball inside, he takes it right at the defense. They really have no answer when he's that close to the basket.
Here's Rozier, covered by Mills. Rozier, the pass to Young. And here's Olynyk from the arc, and that's not going to go. And we reach the end of the first quarter. Celtics lead by 7. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from a very successful tenure with the Butler Bulldogs. He talked about the challenge of making that decision.
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really loved for 13 years. I couldn't have left without knowing that it was a place that we were going to stay together and really commit to a process together. And I was sold on that, and I continue to be sold on it.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels like he's recruiting another college class with all those draft picks lost in his stockpile.
I know he's feeling real good about his decision. He's one of the bright coaching stars in our league.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And the Celtics guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
A lot of tough D being played by them so far. It's been the difference maker.
Very physical, very active. Their defense has all the components needed to get stops.
On the court for the Celtics, second quarter underway. Smart is out there with Rozier. Then it's Olynyk. Then there's Whiteside. And it's Jerebko in at the 3 spot. Miami on defense. 7-point differential. Now here's Smart. Passes it to Olynyk. 6 on the shot clock. From deep. That one doesn't go. Good work defensively by Johnson.
And the Celtics, really since the departure of the big three and Rajon Rondo, doing an amazing job of stockpiling assets and draft picks all along while still being competitive. So you had to know, though, that front office wouldn't hesitate to make a big move. This is an organization that seeks to compete for championships and nothing else.
And Boston has possession, following the miss by Avery Bradley. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. Johnson against Whiteside from 11 feet away and too long on the shot. And the Celtics last season in a quote-unquote rebuild mode. And yet, Greg, they were among the best teams in the NBA, certainly the East. Did they need to make any trades?
You know, they basically had to start combining assets. They were already one of the deepest teams in the league. They had 3 first-round picks in that 16 draft, 3 second-rounders. At some point, you have to make a quantity-for-quality trade because you only get 15 spots.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Guys, you look around the league and the post-up is giving way to more and more pick and rolls, more and more three-point shooting. Some big men don't like it, but Amir Johnson embraces the change. He said, "It's what I do. I'm a big that likes to set screens and roll." And Kevin, with his combination of range and finishing inside, has become one of the best at it in the game.
Very efficient, D.A. Thanks. And Miami calls their first time out of the game. They come into this having outplayed the Clippers last game.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, the point's not hard to come by for them, that's for sure. I'd have surrendered too if I was trying to defend against that potent attack.
Brent, you've been traded one time in your career. How jarring of an experience is that to leave one team that you may like and go to another that you weren't expecting?
It's a very strange situation to be called into an office and have your coach tell you you've been traded. You start to have a bit of an out-of-body experience, especially if you're in the younger, early stages of your career, because you always assume that you're going to stay where you are. You hear the kids on draft night talking about, I can't wait to move to the city, and we're going to get these things set up. And in the blink of an eye, that all comes to an abrupt business-like end.
So what was your trade? Who told you and where'd you go? I
was traded from the Clippers to the Miami Heat, and I was actually in the training room at the time. And that game, the Clippers were actually playing the Heat in L.A. that game. So I had to get out of the training room, go pack some bags, go take a physical and fly to Miami while the team was still on the road. And so it was a very odd experience living in a hotel for a while, starting to assimilate all the new nomenclature for the offenses, getting to know the teammates, and then preparing yourself for what is going to be a couple of months left in the season with a bunch of new guys that you didn't go to training camp with.
Now here's Whiteside. In the corner, Smart with it. Outside, Crowder. From deep, Green. A rebound by Johnson. The Heat trail by 10. Ariza outside, and Gerald Green picks up the foul. That's his first foul. The Heat making a switch here. Dragic is checked in. In the corner, Bradley with it. Shot clock at 6. Here's Dragic from outside. The Heat rebound. Johnson kicks to Bradley. Misses in close.
You have to give a ton of credit to the defense for arriving just in time and altering that shot away from the basket.
Smart misses. The Heat have gone an abysmal 0 of 6 from the field since the second quarter began. And again, it's the Heat missing.
His offense just has not been there tonight, and he needs to step up his game because there's still time to recover.
Now here's Green. They look to him for part of their offensive attack. Right now he averages nearly 12 points a game. Pass to Mickey. The Celtics need to get a shot off. Expanding his range. Again, the miss by the Celtics. The Heat trail by 10. Bradley dishes to Johnson. To stop the drought. And it's wide right. It's off the rim. Boston shooting a mediocre 41% in this one. Here's Green. Here's Mickey. And stolen by Ariza. Here's Johnson. And the lead is down inside single digits.
And he has a great ability to lead his man with the pass. Puts him in great position to score.
1:30 left in the second quarter. They set the pick. Smart passes to Green. Crowder kicks to Whiteside. Here's Smart. And it's Miami with the rebound. Johnson's got 5 rebounds tonight. The definition of a gamer, Marcus Smart, a real blue-collar player, Greg.
It really fits in well with how the Celtics want to play. They want those fire breathers on the floor. His anger got the best of him at times in the past, and that altercation he had with an opposing fan back in college might have given some teams pause. The Celtics want guys who care, and he definitely does.
And the Heat with some changes. David Lee checked in for Johnson. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Avery Bradley. So Boston going with almost an entire new group. Zeller, he's checked in for Whiteside. Olynyk comes in for Jordan Mickey. Young's checked in for Gerald Green. And it's Rozier in for Smart. The Heat trail by 5. Lee kicks to Ariza. And it's slammed in by Ariza.
And some hang time on the rim. Puts a little cherry on the top of that slam.
Well, those kind of displays of strength can get one team rolling. Here's Rozier. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. He with the block.
They have a 2-for-1 situation if they go quick.
Yeah, real quick. They got to get a shot off almost right away.
A nice run they put together here to bring it a little closer.
And that's all you can do. Just chisel away at the lead. Keep believing in what you're doing.
Rozier kicks to Young. Missed inside.
I'm surprised he didn't try to knife through the open lane there. He has to be more aggressive next time in attacking the defense.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
The Heat have looked good at the line tonight. They're perfect in 4 attempts. And it's tied up with that one. and he can't hit the second.
He was able to tie it up. He has to be disappointed that he could not give his team the lead.
He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
Oh, big time put back there. What a great motor on this guy.
There is no one who goes after those rebounds harder. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. It's the Celtics up by 2. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with Brad Stevens. Coach, what did you think of your team's energy in the first half?
I think the energy's fine. I thought we did look a little gassed at the end of that first stint for some of our starters, but I thought for the most part it was good.
Thanks very much, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was Jay Crowder who got hot in the first. He had 8 points and 2 rebounds. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, one place they had the edge was on the offensive boards. They converted those extra possessions into points. Nothing is more demoralizing to a defense than forcing a miss and then giving up a second attempt. The offensive glass is going to pay big dividends for them.
And Shaq, your thoughts on the Heat?
Well, their poor rebounding is really hurting them. It hasn't killed them on the scoreboard yet, but they need to pick it up. This is a game they can win. If they come out hustling in the second half, they can win.
And that about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. Yeah. I think Kevin Harlan should call the second half. How about you?
I agree.
Yeah, just like he did the first half.
As we return to South Florida, a fantastic view of that famous stretch of sand, Miami Beach. And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. You look at Jay Crowder, he's really been playing well.
And his play in that first half, how about the discipline to go along with the efficiency, guys? His shot selection was just perfect.
Might also look at the coach and his game plan in terms of trying to find those good looks. They'll be looking to do the same here down the stretch.
So it's Miami now, trailing by 2. They'll be hosting Orlando for the next one. Dragic is out there with Bradley. Then it's Johnson. Then it's Trevor Ariza. And it's Bosch in at the power forward. So that's where Eric Spoelstra starts the second half with.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Green up on top, guarded by Bradley. Green, no luck. Heat shooting only 31%. Their offense really struggling to put possessions together. Brent, when you played, you were one of the best passing wings in the NBA. How did you come about developing that play style, that skill of feeding others so well?
Huge influence for me, Kevin, growing up was Pistol Pete Maravich. I watched a lot of tapes, and maybe people out there remember old VHS tapes of homework basketball that Pistol Pete put out, and I watched those incessantly and went out in the driveway and tried those things, and then eventually frustrated every coach that I played for. But I had an innate ability to see the floor, some peripheral vision that I tried to use to my advantage, and I enjoyed always making the play for the next guy.
And you both came from basketball families. His dad was his coach at LSU.
That is correct. And although Press wanted Pete to shoot a lot, and he did.
And he did. And you?
And I was more of a pass-first guy.
Yeah.
I think with my dad, he took all the shots away from his teammates. I wanted to be a better teammate.
He took a family's worth of shots, right?
That is correct. And I spent years making up for it.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it's always a transition and a difficult one for college coaches to come to the pros, but Celtics coach Brad Stevens made one of the smoothest we've seen after leading Butler to back-to-back national championship games. You hear that buzz from players to opposing coaches. Greg Popovich said, "I really respect what he does. His team executes. I'll still watch his Butler tape. Trying to learn some stuff, to be honest with you." High praise indeed, fellas.
And Popovich, really the godfather of the active coaches right now, D.A. His voice carries certainly a lot of weight in this league. Thank you.
Oh, nice explosion to the basket by Bosch, who wastes no time in throwing that one down.
Over in the corner, Green. Trying to break that ice-cold streak, and that's 2 points on the layup. Green's got his second bucket tonight.
Finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the third.
Right side against Johnson. It's Bradley on the wing. 6 to shoot. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And where have the shots been coming from tonight? Here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and three-point shot attempts so far for the Celtics.
And you can see how important those inside baskets are. This is a team that loves to work the ball inside, whether the entry pass or off of a drive. They like to feed on those high percentage looks.
And the first one at the line is good. Johnson, he's checked in for Miami. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
And the Heat making some trades last season to get underneath that luxury tax threshold. They reset the clock on the dreaded repeater tax, which absolutely hammers teams for being over the tax for consecutive years.
Now here's Whiteside, and he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game.
You know what? Those are shots you just hate to miss when you get those kinds of bunnies on a possession.
And stolen by Whiteside. Outer dishes to Smart. Poked loose. That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession. And Brent, as you look at how the Heat have moved to get under the cap, and even with the tax ramifications, they brought in Joe Johnson. It's become a big consideration for teams.
Well, there's no doubt that the penalty with regards to the tax doubling up and sometimes tripling up what it is that franchises will pay for going over that luxury threshold is affecting the decision making of the general managers around the league. But this huge boost in salary cap space, Kevin, that's going to raise some eyebrows as well.
Bradley kicks to Dragic, and it's in there. Dragic has got 5 now.
The D was present and put up a good fight, but ultimately Dragic with the KO.
Rozier the pass to Zeller. Screen by Olynyk. Kicks to Green. There's the triple. Rebound by the Heat.
And the stroke definitely lacking confidence this quarter. Nothing on target.
Well, you could tell right there he just wanted to go for the jam, but the defense too good and distracting.
Here's your Redco. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
I know the difficulty degree there high, but he drains it.
For Miami, they've gone 2 of 6 from the field here in the third. Lee in the posts. He's against Zeller. No good from Lee. Boston's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And the league is in transition. A healthy debate about who is the league's best player. I'll pose this question to you. If you were going to pick one player, who would it be?
Well, LeBron James is undoubtedly still the best player in the NBA. And if you haven't watched the past 2 NBA finals, shame on you.
Because he has been historically good in both.
Well, by the time it's all said and done, we've got 4 or 5 years still of LeBron doing what it is that he's done and marching up these incredible ladders, all the statistical significance and history that he's setting. But if we look at some of the young players, Kevin, the interesting debate will be, Will Karl Anthony Towns or Anthony Davis be the guy moving forward? I think you'd find it interesting if you took a poll as to which coaches would take which player first. I think you'd be surprised at those results.
Are you saying Towns?
I might say Karl Anthony Towns.
I know. I see the smile on your face. Now, here's Beverly. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Lee in the posts. He's covered by Zeller, and it goes out of bounds. That one is off Zeller. While we have the chance, we like to reveal the list of the past month's best fast break teams in the NBA. In fourth, the Celtics.
They've been playing an exciting brand of basketball during that time. I mean, taking every chance to get out in the open floor.
Mills, and that one's on target from the wing. And the Heat lead by 1.
Well, Patty works hard to find shots, digs up some gold there.
And Young kicks to Rozier. Bucket is good. Rozier's got his first points in this one. Guys, we're not through 3 quarters of play, but 6 lead changes already in this one.
Yeah, competitive, and I think we all can agree that we thought this would be the type of game that would come down to the end.
And stolen by Zeller. Here's the floater, and it's laid up and in by Young. And now it's a 3-point Boston lead. Pass to Beverly. Johnson kicks to Beverly. Lee against Zeller. Shoots. Hits the front of the rim and out.
I have no clue what happened with the defense there, but they should be thanking their lucky stars that somehow he bricked that golden opportunity.
Now, here is Young. The pass to Rozier. Stolen by Beverly.
Yeah, the shot clock's off. This could be the last possession of the quarter.
It will be if they play this right. Definitely should hold it for the last shot.
Here's Rozier, defended by Beverly. That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession. Six seconds left to play here in the third. Here's Rozier, and released it in time, but it's off the mark. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. Celtics lead by 1. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. And meanwhile, Coach Brad Stevens talking to his team.
Okay, hey, bottom line is, good things are going to happen, bad things are happening. How you respond is the biggest key. Let's go.
And Brad Stevens moments ago focusing on what they can do now rather than worrying about what's already happened.
Yeah, this is all you can do. Put all of your energy into this moment. The past, the future, they don't matter.
We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. The Celtics with the lead on the floor for Boston. Smart and Crowder at the 2 and the 3. Olynyk is out there with Zeller, and it's Rozier in at the 1. And the first one drops. Mickey's checked in for the Celtics. He's perfect from the line this time. Here's Beverly. From the line, Mickey grabs the board. Mickey's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Crowder kicks to Rozier. one drops for him. And the Celtics lead by 5.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
Well, if he was wearing a badge, it'd be one of courage. He rose up and actually took that shot.
And he makes the first.
Really a great free throw shooter. It's unfortunate Mills gets to the line infrequently, partly because of the minutes.
Some changes for Boston. Hassan Whiteside comes in for Tyler Zeller, and it's Green in for Rozier.
Just solid. Really one of the very best there is at the free throw line.
Smart passes to Mickey. Right side a screen. Mickey kicks to Smart. Green up on top. Nice ball movement by Boston. And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Patty Mills. Free throw, good, Whiteside. Hard to believe that Hassan Whiteside wasn't even in the NBA a few seasons ago, Brent. Took some time off, but what a find he has been since coming back into the league.
Well, it's been nice to see him re-engage and maybe turn around his attitude and work ethic and maybe wanting this at his size. You have to give credit to Whiteside for not giving up on himself and putting some of that work in to become the player he is right now.
And here's Ariza after Marcus Smart got his shot to go from deep. And yes, it's good.
I think that's exactly the shot they wanted, Kevin. He can make that one all day long.
And there's the call on Patrick Beverley. That's foul number 2 for him. The Heat making a switch here. Bosch is checked in. Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. And the wide open shot from Green. Nice open look, but it's no good. It's Bosch with the drive. Mickey grabs the board. Mickey's got his 7th rebound here tonight. A floater. He's off on that one. Johnson with the defensive effort. The Heat trail by 7. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
Well, even the dentist would tell you that's a sweet move for that lay-in. And yeah, you got to love his tenacity.
Goran Dragic is checked in for the Heat. Bradley no good on the free throw.
I think back to the first couple years of Chris Bosh coming out of Georgia Tech into the NBA and how thin and slight he was and people wanting him to pack on pounds. All he did was pack on points, Kevin. We all saw his future as a back-to-the-basket big man. That's not what he has become, and he's become an all-star level, maybe even a Hall of Fame caliber player at the power forward position.
And thinking about Bosh and him never bulking up, really, he helped shift the mold of what the modern power forward is.
Well, the modern power forward has a good sense of the floor, has to be able to hit the outside shot and handle the basketball. Chris Bosh coming into the league had all of those tools at his disposal, and I don't think it was quite as big an adjustment for Chris Bosh. It was just about how much he could gain his confidence. He did that early.
Dragic kicks to Bradley. Ariza against Crowder. The dish to Bradley. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Johnson, and it's in off the backboard.
Unbelievable. This guy is completely in a zone.
Now here's Smart. He's guarded by Dragic. It's stolen by Dragic. In the corner, Bradley with it. Three-pointer. Hassan Whiteside grabs the miss.
Yeah, those are the shots that you expect him to make. You've seen it before, and so far, just not on his A game tonight.
Ariza outside. Whoops, anticipated the pass. Turnover. Here's Green. Count that one. And the Celtics lead by 6.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
Here's Bosh. And that one drops for him.
Not sure how many times Bosh has to prove it, but in tight games, this is the guy you go to. Comes through with a huge basket.
Smart passes to Mickey. And there's the feed to Green. Shoots off the screen. They get it back. And Smart with the basket on the assist by Whiteside. And it's 7 points for Marcus Smart. Down low, it's stolen by Green.